Greetings, everybody. Decided to do a quick update on the Veritaseum business development progress here in Jamaica. I'm back in Jamaica again, back in Kingston, about to get on a plane back to New York. It looks like we have a poor internet connection, so pardon me if this comes out distorted. I'm in Jamaica this time to attempt to solicit business from the Jamaican government and Jamaica as a sovereign entity, as opposed to the joint venture and the proposed joint venture with the Jamaica Stock Exchange. I'm doing a lot with Jamaica because, it seems as if the stock exchange definitely gets it in terms of the digital asset revolution. And in talking to very astute ministers in the Jamaican Parliament, they get it as well. I'm quite impressed with their level and the astute way in which they, go up the massive amounts of information of a transformational change of the paradigm shift description that I'm throwing at them. So that being said, remember, I am very, very careful as to respecting everybody's privacy, whether they're individuals, sovereign entities, or private corporations. The Jamaican government, if all right, been looking forward to this, Reggie. How is it going? It's going along. I'm explaining it now. I asked the Jamaican government if I can publicly announce the results of the meeting, and without giving any detail, of course, because I don't want to give detail, but I will give an overview. And they said, well, feel free to tell them that we are very, very interested in moving forward with you. And that hopefully speaks for itself. I can't go into any greater detail than that, but I will discuss what it is I'm here to do on this trip. Basically, I have identified buy-side institutions that are interested in using the technology and the Veritaseum platform. And these buy-side institutions, of course, by the very nature of their moniker, the buy-side, they need something to buy. And so I'm off here in the Caribbean looking for assets for them to buy, in particular, distressed assets and other assets, let's put it that way. And I have a decent amount of firepower in terms of assets under management on the buy side that are looking to utilize the platform. And now, with the conversations with the very astute members of the Jamaican government and parliament, it looks as if I will have a significant amount, we as in Veritaseum, will have a significant amount of product to sell through the Veritaseum platform. So this is very different, very far and apart from the crypto industry. And I feel that Veritaseum is very different from typical cryptos, because we're not really crypto, we're a solutions company. We're not talking hundreds of thousands or millions. We're talking hundreds of millions, tens and hundreds of millions, in terms of deals. This is very good for Jamaica. We get to clean up the sovereign balance sheet. We get to clean up private entities' balance sheets, potentially private corporations, banks, etc. It all depends. And we get to create what is essentially new things. And I don't go any deeper than that because, again, I have to significantly censor my speech because of various things going on. So I'm not at liberty to speak freely. It's unfortunate, but I take it. It's the nature of the business. But I'm working hard, and these things that I'm looking to push through fruition will be the first of their kind. Okay, I've been promising to get a demo transaction out in terms of a veritization, and I'm still working on that. I want to use asset off of U.S. soil, but it takes a while to close that. So I will use various digital assets, plus maybe a surprise or two, and I will go through a complete veritization from beginning to end. And I will also include, my partner from the MOU, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and I will cut them their first little tiny bits of revenue, tiny bits of revenue, but a revenue stream nonetheless, from the result of a digital asset transfer. This is going to be very, very interesting, okay? And that template that we use from the actual transaction, I will use to show other partners, and hopefully we're off to the races, okay? Let's go through questions, and I am tired, pardon me, very tired. If you've been following these videos, I just left Jamaica Sunday evening, and I'm right back here again. And not just Kingston where I am now, this is the Pegasus Hotel. This is a hotel where much of the business is done, corporate business, at least for downtown Jamaica, but I've been all over the island. Okay, and this is a beautiful island, beautiful for vacationing. This weather's beautiful. Unfortunately, Reggie's been working instead of vacationing. Okay, so let's go through other questions. If you have any questions that don't have to do with private negotiations, confidential negotiations, let them have it. I'll try and open everything. I also want to be aware that I'm aware that there's still FUD being distributed. We're moving quickly. I don't answer a bunch of FUD questions. I don't answer everything. I just don't have the time to. I'm actually trying to build a global platform. But what you can do is take a look at the results of what we're doing, and you could compare and contrast that to the statements that are being made by those who declare that Veritaseum is not the real thing, etc. We started releasing a very early beta of the VE, the Veritaseum rental program. Take a look at the comments of those who actually use it. Very, very positive. Very strong on the smoothest of operation. They really like the GUI. They like the simplicity. Okay, as an early beta, it works. We got a couple of bugs, that they pulled out. Those bugs have been addressed with quick fixes already. It's been 24 to 48 hours. I unfortunately didn't have a chance to release a link to those beta testers. If that link is available, I'll release it now. If not, it'll be released by Monday. Okay, and there should be another iteration shortly after that. This bug release fix should be significant, where you could do some significant transactions. But I can't, since this is a live video, I can't post responses, but the responses have been very, very positive. Basically, the guys say, excellent piece of development work and software. And this is our early pre-beta. Okay, I want to move through the early beta stage to a public beta very, very quickly. I hate to put a time period on it, because if we put a time period on it, we may be wrong. But let's look for a few weeks, a couple of weeks, maybe. It all depends on how things go. The Veda, I would like to get out. The Veda is the smart contract that basically, on an autonomous fashion, purchases other digital assets. And the VE rental program is a HTML interface that allows you to use smart contracts to rent your Veritaseum out, both on a contract rental basis, like you do with leasing an apartment or renting an apartment, and on an economic rent basis, which is basically absolute, giving up the Veritaseum in exchange for the deal that you make. And you can make the deal privately through the interface. Okay, what's amazing about this, despite the fact that it was well written, right? It's running smooth, the GUI is ideal, right? What's amazing about this is I insisted everything is to be fully distributed. So this application is written on a fully distributed basis. No centralized servers run anything at all. Okay, you even download the HTML from a distributed, decentralized source. So for those who understand what they're doing, it's amazing. It should be obvious that this cannot be done by a single developer. So those who say Reggie doesn't have a team, or Veritaseum doesn't have a team, instead of arguing, I did, explain where the team was, how big the team is. But instead of addressing everybody, take a look at the product. Our token offering ended May 27th. Take a look at what we've delivered since May 27th. The research facility, beta of the rental facility, MOU with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, which that MOU is, from my perspective personally, as good as binding. They're saying, okay, Reggie, let's move on to the next step, which is why I'm attempting to create this demo transaction to show them and everybody else, how it will work in real life with real assets, real transaction, real revenue. Okay, discussions with totally separate and apart with the Jamaican government. Okay, and I told you what the representative of the Jamaican government that we're dealing with, he had to say. Looks positive. I've tried my very best not to be overly optimistic and not to be optimistic in discussing what's happening. As a matter of fact, I've been very secretive. And, that secrecy is number one, respecting the confidentiality of the deal and our partners. And number two, hopefully not to run afoul of any regulatory issues. Okay, but long story short, we're working hard. 2 months out of the token offering, we're off to the races and running very, very hard. Okay, so we're supposed to be going through questions. Awesome, very good work. Ask me questions if you haven't asked any. So once the assets are identified, there's a valuation vetting process. Can you explain that in general? Yes, that process is between the buyers of the assets and Veritaseum. Pardon me. These are very high-end institutional buyers, so they definitely have their own apparatus and professionals. But the ones that we have identified actually ask us to throw our own analytics in, which we're doing. We're impartial on that. And I released a small summary of what we're looking at, and that is the Jamaica distressed assets presentation. Of course, the real meat is in the addenda, and I don't include the addenda because A, it's a lot of work, and B, that's for the actual clients of the beta, the early testers of the beta program, and the clients of the Veritaseum process. Okay, but that's how it works. We get a pool of assets, we analyze them, we slice and dice, we give our opinion on it. Prospective buyers can do the same if they're interested, and then they purchase the assets through the Veritaseum program. Oh yeah, then let me mention, this is an over-the-counter transaction, peer-to-peer, very similar to Paul buying a house from Brian, okay? Not a security, Paul buying a house from Brian. We love you, Reggie. Your community is full and of strong hands. J.R. Jones. That's what I need to hear, okay? That's what I need to hear. I sound bad. I've been working hard, not sleeping enough, damaged my immune system. What I need to do is spend a couple of days here in Jamaica and absorb the sunshine. Unfortunately, I got to get back to New York in a couple of hours and get back to work. I'll sleep on a plane. He's been talking all day. Yes, I have. Believe it. Price of Area has been continuously falling since its high of 1 to 1F. Hope it can turn around. I don't control that. That is a relatively thinly traded exchange. And to be absolutely honest, I don't want to comment on that because I don't think that is reflective of A, what we're doing, and B, this is the software utility, right? It's not an investment. It has extreme utility from our perspective. And I don't want to talk about it. I want to do it. I want to show it. So I'm not even going to put any more words than that into it. I want to demonstrate to everybody from the financial community to end users to anybody involved, even the crypto community, that I have brought utility to an absolutely new level. And I keep saying and I'm in error. Veritaseum and Team Veritaseum, the Veritaseum community, have assisted in bringing the utility of having peer-to-peer over-the-counter transactions to a level that match and surpass that of the legacy system, 100%. Okay. Question: is there a roadmap for the very product and completion dates? Completion dates are simply guesstimates. I have put some down. Some of them we hit, some we miss. But think of it this way: this is not software development. We're a solutions company. Software helps build the platform economics that we're building, but this is consulting, this is software development, and this is financial engineering, okay, and advisory. So with that being said, imagine going to Congress or Parliament if you're in Europe or the Caribbean and putting a completion date and a passing date on a legislative idea. Close to impossible to do, okay? And that's very similar to what we're doing, okay? So putting a date is, gives a marker of what order we think things may be completed in, but it definitely can't tell you exactly when it will happen. As a matter of fact, some of the things that we thought we'd be completing later, we're working on now and we may complete on or before schedule. Other things got pushed off to the wayside. There are various reasons for it. Some of it happens because software development is difficult. Political negotiations are difficult. I'm cutting my teeth on certain political negotiations, so it's a learning curve for me. But other things have to do with changing business model, business plan, okay? For instance, the work that we're doing with the stock exchange, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, has been slightly modified because due to significant financial digging and analysis, I found that I can make them, my clients, more money by doing things differently. With that being said, we changed path. Changing that path alters the milestone delivery schedule, materially, but not necessarily significantly. So I can give an overview of what we plan to do, and I could give dates of when I'd like to see things done. But what I like and what happens are not necessarily corollary. And remember, I'm a business concern, okay, that is looking to give the best bang for the client buck, okay? And in doing that, we can't be rigid and stick to XYZ plan, particularly when we see XYZ should have been QUR. That's a very long-winded way of saying very difficult to give milestone dates and stick to them unless we make these milestone dates very, very, very conservative, which again is unrealistic in and of itself. It says they have a poor and very bad connection, so if that happens, remember I'm just sitting in the back of the Pegasus Hotel behind the pool, pretty far away from Wi-Fi. Okay, black seed oil, good for immune system. Sleep and rest is even better. I killed my immune system, nobody else. I have to take blame for it. You're awesome. Thank you, Katrina. You're awesome for saying I'm awesome. I love compliments. Keep them coming. Is there to be a Mac wallet? The clients are going to be totally HTML5 based. So if you use the browser, you can use the client. Okay, the client for the VE rental is, for right now, browser based, but on PC and Mac platforms because you have to use a Chrome plugin. Okay, the reason for that is several-fold, but basically you have to do a little more interaction with the blockchain, and that's difficult without the plugin. We can use APIs for MetaDelta, which we probably will use in making this mobile compliant, so it runs on iOS and Android browsers, etc. But until that happens, right now you can use it on Macs and PCs. I wanted everything to come out at one time, but that simply would have dragged the delivery of everything else. So we bring things out one step at a time. The man is in Jamaica, crying out loud, lucky to be even streaming. What is the other exchange we're working with? I haven't solicited the permission to discuss that in public. And to be truthful, I don't want to do it until the deal is done. But the exchange is of significant size, significant professionalism, and they have deep pockets and deep, strong relationships with their regulators. And the regulators are very anxious to see these new business models take place. So it's quite possible, if I can't even say probable, we'd have permission to do sandbox runs almost immediately. And I plan to actually do a test run of real assets, real transactions, basically a Veritaseum, and I'm going to go back and show that to them forthwith. Try and get it done next week. I said this week I had to run back to Jamaica, so I'll work on it over the weekend, or definitely after Labor Day when school starts and everybody's back to work. And I also have another meeting with them shortly thereafter that. I want that to be distributed. I want the example to be fully examined before the meeting so everybody can see where we're coming from. Does Veritaseum own EtherDelta? No, we do not. We have absolutely nothing to do with EtherDelta. Top 10 exchange, a Veritaseum deal update. I told you what I can. Remember, if you were doing business with me, you wouldn't want me blibbing private business across YouTube Live, and nobody else wants it either. When will the trading bot be ready for small retail investors? Well, remember, software is not an investment. These are people who are looking for exposure to other digital assets. If you talk about the Vader will be ready. Hard to tell right now, but I'm looking for, maybe we can start betting this within a month and change. Vader is a very complex piece of smart contract engineering. Multiple smart contracts strung together, multiple purposes. I happen to like EtherDelta as a technical accomplishment, and this is a level above, a multiple of difficulty over that of EtherDelta. And I like EtherDelta. So it goes to show you, excuse me, how much of an effort this is. Is there a way you can protect investors and the fact that results in no more hacking of Veri? Is there a way you can store Veri in cold storage and not have the hack create the FUD? The hack doesn't create the FUD. Fudders created the FUD, number one. Remember, the hack was a result. The hack resulted in our Veri being taken. Nobody else's assets were taken. It was ours. I'm looking for, we actually believe we found the hackers, all of them, and we have detail of exactly where they are. More to be seen on that, but I don't want to discuss that in detail because I didn't make everything public at the time, and I don't plan it now because I really do believe that these guys have been doing wrong, and I would like to see them get their just due. Let's put it that way. So no more discussing that until, of course, things come to their fruition. And as for cold storage and everything else, I'll discuss how things were stored potentially in the future after this is over. But I don't want to have any discussion while investigations are being done. Little owners of Very 2050 will benefit big when platform is fully working. I believe they will, because remember, Veritaseum is utility software. That utility is increased significantly. You gain more utility as more users use it, just like the internet increases utility as more people use the internet. We are trying to get more users in, get bigger users in, and create facilities, software facilities, to make participation in the use of Veritaseum super silky smooth. And I believe we're actually doing that. Again, I will make a post through Twitter, Veritaseum, LinkedIn, etc. And that post will outline, or not outline, it will show snippets of comments from those who've actually beta tested it. So until the beta test is public, you get to see what others have to say. And what they have to say, seems to be overwhelmingly positive. Okay? Goes to show you the development chops of Veritaseum is there, well and strong. How does small, very amount owners use services? I went through that in detail several times. So in essence, they use it the same way the large owners do, just in a smaller basis. Of course, expenses are relatively higher for smaller users. Are there any follow-up activities with the New York hedge funds you talked to a few weeks ago? Yes, they are, but unfortunately, I can't discuss that in public. Do realize that A, summertime is slow, and B, I can't discuss private negotiations. Okay, all I can say is we're negotiating advanced over-the-counter transaction facilitation. Are the remaining 98 million tokens locked up so we know they won't be dumped all at the same time? That question, with all due respect, shows that you don't understand the business model. And let me try and explain this one more time. Or you can look through a lot of the statements made, through videos, etc. The tokens are our product, or at least it's an example. It's the distributed software platform of our product. Okay, so dumping tokens like dumping product doesn't make sense. We sell the tokens to end users. The end users use the tokens to facilitate their businesses. So you want these tokens to be sold. We want, as a business, we want these tokens to be sold. The more the tokens we sell to the correct end users that use them, right, the more valuable our business becomes, the more valuable the tokens become. And that's the way it works. You don't want to lock up 98 million Microsoft server software licenses so they can't be sold. It would make no sense. Microsoft would like to sell as many as possible to the right users that will, of course, significantly magnify the value of using Microsoft software. Like the coin, however, the mediocre quality of the videos and sound represents a multi-billion blah, blah, blah. Henry Baker, FUD, okay? I'm streaming from a cell phone behind the pool of the Pegasus Hotel in Jamaica, and people are commenting on the quality of the video after I made it very clear I'm on a poor Wi-Fi connection. Interesting that is commented on. I thought I shared a lot of very significant progress. So, of course, different opinions matter. Any news on the top 10 exchange? We've answered that. Let's see if we go a little further on the questions. And it's 24. In about 3 minutes, I'm going to end this. So if any questions, get them going. I answer as many as I can. How can we make very work on individual inspect now? I think, you're discussing how individuals can make very work, and there are multiple ways. Since I've answered that several times over, I don't want to answer it again in this video because that would be unfair to others who have unique questions. I suggest you go through my previous YouTube videos or go through the Veritaseum presentation. Okay, that can be found off the site. Even Bill Gates would be bad. I'm looking for additional questions. Hold me. You are top notch. Blessings to you galore. Thank you very much, John Brands. Can you slow down your progress so we can acquire a bunch more Very before it moves? Unfortunately, I'm in a foot race because my competitors are the extant legacy banking system. And I need to get as much traction as possible before they jump on board. And before I finish talking, I would like everybody, I see I have 262 contiguous users, viewers, that's very good. Everybody like this video right now for me. I would like everybody to share the video. That means that the video gets to go viral, more people get to see it, and we get the message out. And I get to answer more questions. The questions become more myriad, the answers become better, etc. So please, everybody hit the like button now, and then turn around, everybody hit the share button now. I'd appreciate it very much. Any traction or partnerships in real estate or healthcare market? Yes, we do have traction in the healthcare market. We have a high net worth client who has, among many other things, a healthcare business, and we're looking to veritize that. Okay, and that's just a matter of manpower moving forward. Okay, I can't give you details on that because it's a private transaction, but this person has given me permission to discuss it. Just not going to discuss it at this time, but once we do get it going, hopefully you guys will be excited and proud. Again, moving the distributed digital asset platform to the next level. We plan to platformify, veritize everything. You know, platform business versus legacy vertical businesses. Very interesting. If you're not familiar with it, you know, go through, look it up on Wikipedia, buy some books, or if you wish, we could do it a bit more intuitively. You know, let me know in the comments section, and I'll do a video on platform economics and how we're using the crowd and distributed technology, digital asset technology, to create what used to be purely vertical businesses into platform businesses. You know, make the hospital business look much more like Google or much more like Amazon than it used to do in the past. Talk is cheap. Keep going, Reggie. Do is better. I agree. I agree as well. You know, don't talk, do. That's the mantra of this business. That's the mantra of Veritaseum. Okay? You know, day-to-day fluctuations, quarterly earnings reports mean nothing from our perspective. Okay? You don't conquer the world day by day. Okay? You don't measure progress quarterly, and most important, you don't create significant value. You don't significantly change the world by creating pretty websites and talking. Do. We're executing at lightning speed. Okay? And as time goes on, and I don't mean a lot of time, we're going to start revealing a lot of what we've been doing, and you'll see, wow, this is a real business, and this is very unique in crypto land. You know, and I'm not trying to, you know, denigrate any other crypto ventures, because there are a few of them that are really, really cool. But what we're doing is true real business on a very cutting edge platform, bleeding edge platform, and we're throwing in, you know, expert financial analysis expertise, consulting, engineering, software engineering, the whole works. You know, I'm super excited about what we're doing. Now I have the Jamaican government super excited about what we're doing. We have the Jamaica Stock Exchange super excited. We have one of the top 10 global exchanges super excited, and we're just getting started. We have a couple of buy-side institutions, large institutions, $22, $23 billion, $14, $15 billion, $10 billion, $5 billion, super excited because they didn't understand what this technology was capable of. And even as they do understand it, you also have to create a proper business model, because remember, technology has never changed the world. Technology has never taken over or destroyed a business or created a business. It's always the business model allowed by the technology that has done that. Okay? So the internet hasn't destroyed media businesses. It's the business model allowed by the internet that brings about companies such as Google, or such as Amazon, such as Facebook. Okay? We look to operate at a level significantly above that, because the internet was basically frictionless information transfer. Veritasium is built upon the concept of frictionless value transfer and contingent value transfer, programmable value transfer. Buckshin, Reginald, I follow you for a long time. I want to invest in you. It's a suitable vehicle for this. Regards, Book Taxing from South Wales. Well, if you want to invest in me, you have to buy our stock. We're not really selling that right now. Okay, you can purchase the tokens, which is a software utility. Okay, it is not an investment. I've said it before, I can say it very, very often, and I say this for what should be obvious reasons. Okay, but I believe that our utility software is the best of what it is. I don't believe it has any competition right now. And even as the competition comes on board, I believe it is of significant value. Also, realize my beliefs are extremely biased because I am the founder of this company, but I'm also being quite honest. Okay? Any Veritaseum team updates? We're looking to hire. If you're interested in working for Team Veritaseum, come in. We can actually use another strong Solidity developer. We need to up our team from 4 to 5. Okay, above 5, 6, I think would be the maximum for us. I'm not looking for a large development team. I'm looking for an effective one. Okay, and managing above 6, we have a Scrum manager, Agile Scrum manager, and above that, I think it's a different ball game. Of course, I leave the technicals to the technical guys, but I'm the guy that looks at this from an overall perspective. So if you think that you are a crack shot at Solidity development, you're a crack shot at software engineering, okay? You know what you're doing, you're a team worker, you're better than almost everybody else, but you're modest enough to work with anybody else, okay? You solve problems independently on your own, okay? And you don't think anything is impossible except for the ability to fail. Reach out to us, email me, hit me up on any of the social media, right? We'll give you a little quiz to make sure that we're on the same page, and then, hopefully you come on board. We're also looking for business development partners. We're looking for marketing and sales as well. Since our product is not the easiest to comprehend, if you can't break away from legacy thinking, it takes a different type of person to do this. What is U.S. regulatory risk to vary in all crypto for that matter? Potentially significant. It's up to U.S. regulators, so it's hard to answer that, but the risk is definitely there, so I'm not going to say it's not. That would be misleading. Reggie, please contact me via healthcare market. Part of a large multi-specialty clinic. Would be interested in seeing if there's a very collaborative opportunity. I'd love to do that, Scott. I think it'd probably be more efficient if you contacted me. Reach out to me through email, okay, and let's chat. Potential competitor to vary. There's a few potential competitors. No direct competitors that I can think of, but the most direct competitors that are almost guaranteed to come down the pike would be the white shoe, the big investment banks. And you know who they are, right? Goldman, Morgan, et al. Thoughts on Black Moon Project? Not familiar with it. Does Veritaseum scale the power structure to where the FUD is an attempt to kill the name? I don't really know. There is a lot of FUD. Most of these guys, the FUD guys, don't even understand what Veritaseum is. Don't understand the business model. So, I don't take it very seriously. But they do seem to have a small amount of influence, and that bothers me. So I like the truth to be known. I'm proud of this project. I stand behind the project. I have a decent reputation. I put my reputation behind it. You go to the website, you can see a phone number. You call at the right time, go through the right people, you can speak to one of us. You can speak to me directly. Okay? Transparency. I'm not playing games. I don't talk, I do. I have a team of doers, not talkers. As a matter of fact, you haven't even seen the team talk because they're too busy doing. That's the way I like it. Go get some rest. I'm about to do that soon after a couple of more meetings. Hopefully I'll fall asleep on the plane. But thank you very much, J.R. Jones. As he mentioned, the SEC is about your small group of assets and varies on that list. I don't think I mentioned that. I'm pretty sure they're watching many assets. We are proud and ready. Thank you, Reggie. I love that you do these videos live. I appreciate it because, I do them. I'm glad they appreciate it. I try to put as much communication as possible, which is why I do live videos so I can interact with the constituency and the audience. Who are the 6 clowns that gave this a thumbs down? I don't know, to each their own, it's a free world. I wouldn't give it a thumbs down, but again, I'm biased. Any update on the build of the P2P value trading platform? We haven't started rebuilding that yet because we have a couple of smaller projects that we get off first, because that is a significantly significantly involved project. We're moving that from the Bitcoin platform. We thought it was very, very capable on the Bitcoin platform, and the Ethereum platform is significantly more flexible. So because that's a larger project, more in-depth project, I want to get the smaller things out first. I see a few competitors attempting to do what you're doing. Are they violating patents? We have patent applications. They're not patents yet. I don't think they've been issued yet. Been pretty busy, but I believe they're still in the patent process. So technically, legally, there's nothing to violate, but I am paying attention, trust me. If I need help for Spanish-speaking people, I'm here. I may take you up on that. Partnerships with any other blockchains. Well, I don't know if you can do a partnership with the blockchain, but for entities that sponsor the blockchains, not as of yet, because we are working hard on what we're doing, but we are blockchain agnostic. So we don't have favorite blockchains. We have blockchains that we use. If something comes along that's better, more usable, more practical, we'll definitely look into it and potentially adopt it. We are not in the blockchain business. Hence, we are blockchain agnostic, period. Thank you for the generational wealth you provide us, Reggie. Okay, you're welcome, sir. Bam, pounded that like button. I appreciate it, and pound it more. You want to race with the big banks? I'm going to race with everything, okay? I want to create a new infrastructure, right? Create a new way of doing things, and I want to make, honestly, it sounds cliche and corny, the world a better place. It's a fact. What can I say? Will Veri tokens be burned after use? No, they will not. Veri tokens have value from our perspective, so if they're used, they're to be recycled. Double the likes in 5 seconds. Thank you. Create a list of related and direct support companies. That's a good idea. Don't know if I have the resources to do that, but if anybody in the community wants to do that, please do, and we can have somebody go over it and check it. Sharing to my group, Reggie. Thank you very much, more sample. As Veri expands its user network, do you have a number target for the network before 2018? I really have no idea. Veritaseum is a very new product. Basically, distributed value and finance on a platform basis. To my knowledge, from a programmable basis, it hasn't been done before, so there's no precedent. So it's very difficult to project something that's ever precedent. If I do, it will be guesswork. And in terms of guesswork, your guess is as good as mine. Is the price reflecting the real value of Veritaseum? Unlikely, but again, short-term price fluctuations. This is utility software. It's not a stock, it's not a bond, it's not a security, okay? I think people are paying too much attention to short-term prices. Think of this as Microsoft Office. Think of it as Grand Theft Auto. Think about it as Microsoft Service Software, okay? But different, a platform, distributed. So if you could mix these two concepts together, you get where Veri is. And then you can see where, anything short-term simply doesn't apply. Get back to work, meet the bankers, okay, information. I hope you managed to help the Jamaican people and others with Veri. I plan to help the Jamaican people and many others. I don't want to name the other countries. Some of them are large, not only the developed countries, but they're very big countries. I have a lot of people I plan to help, a lot of sovereign nations, a lot of companies, a lot of everything, okay? Any new in the pipeline to be released within 2 weeks? Well, I'm pretty sure we could bring the Veri rental facility to public beta in 2 weeks. Can't stick to it, can't promise it. It's software development. That one is more software development than financial engineering, financial analysis, and everything else. And hopefully we come to an agreement where a partner doesn't mind a public announcement. And even that being the case, I have to look at all the other factors that go into it. But if they're all positive, I'll announce it and let it go. One thing I can say, we have a lot of things, a lot of pots cooking in the kitchen, okay? Reggie Milton, staff, do you need coders, project managers? Yes, I do, okay? Yes, I do. I just need crackpot ones. We have 4. We have engineer. We have an engineer, 2 developers. On the Solidity side, we have a UI guy and a Scrum manager. And I'm looking to get 1 more crackshot guy on board. Possibly 2, definitely 1 more. If I can find 2 at that level that I'm looking for, I take 2 on board, okay? At that size team, I don't want the team to get any larger. How is the legacy financial system threatened by Veri? They're more threatened by complacency and now moving forward at the pace of the paradigm shift than they are threatened by Veri. Veri is just a manifestation of the paradigm shift that we have coming. Will you swing by Cleveland and let me buy you dinner? You can have a cigar and scotch after steaks. I don't smoke, and I love to come by Cleveland. I love dinner, but I can't swing that right now. But if I'm in the area, you got it, J.R. Jones. Hey, yo, a PR person wouldn't hurt in the future. That's true. So in the future, we get a PR person. That being said, the jingle from your older videos. Okay, and it looks like one of my partners are calling me to get back to work. So it looks like I'm going to have to sign off on this. With that being said, I definitely appreciate the support. I love the Veritaseum community. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Okay, and I'm planning to make you proud. I'm working hard. You know, from what I see inside looking in, and I'm privy to more information, of course, than y'all are. We're changing things. We're making the future happen now. Okay, and I look forward to revealing what we're working on. Not everything's going to succeed. Not everything's going to go our way. It's the nature of the beast. It's called business. It's called reality. I'm telling you the truth. But if a small portion of what we're working on gets through, you'll be reading of this in the business books of the future. Okay? If not, give it the old college try. But failure is a process. It's not an event. And so if you see things failing, from my perspective, you do something about it. Thus far, we're doing very, very well. We have some road bumps. There are a couple other big road bumps coming up. I know they're coming. I see them. And we handle them. Okay? Success also is not an event. It's a process. And we're looking to succeed, but it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen on Ether Delta. It doesn't happen quarterly. It's a process. And we're looking hard to fulfill that process. I want to get one more question answered before I go. Let's just go down to the bottom. And I'll pick one randomly. It's Merrill Lynch and Goldman that disliked this video? Possibly. Good to see. Platinum flag is success. Just tested. Trey Coop says, just tested the rental engine beta. It is a great product with all upside for running a real business using crypto. Well, Trey Coop, there you go. That's one right there. I'm going to record this as I get back to my business partner who is coming to get me because I am late. And yes, that happens. I went on Reggie not on time. Any negative comments can we read out? I don't like negative comments because I put so much of my heart and soul, my reputation, my resources, my time, even my family's time, partners, etc. into this. But, I'm domiciled in America. Free speech is a right, and they're free to be negative all they want. Those who are negative on an unfounded basis, well, that's what we have the community for, to educate them, to teach them, and to let them see the light of their ways. If they're negative, despite knowing that their negativity is unfounded, well, then that's not negativity, that's assassination, okay? So with that being said, I'm walking back into the hotel, and I will be signing off. Let's go for one more. Cliff High said, Ome Seco is my competition. Have I heard of him? I heard of them, but I don't have a lot of experience with them because I've been too busy with my own. Thus far, I haven't seen direct competition. Okay, I'm gonna sign in. I'm sorry, I'm gonna sign out. And au revoir, everybody. Peace. And I love the Veritaseum community. I appreciate y'all. Everybody, again, like this video, share the video. I'll get back on as soon as I can. We have 296, almost 300 simultaneous viewers. I think this is probably a record for my YouTube Live videos. And this shows that I should use YouTube Live more often. This is a very effective way of communicating with my constituency. Instead of writing, tweeting, making blog posts, I will try and do as much as I can via YouTube Live. That way I can also interact with you, and I reach a decent amount of the constituency at the same time. So for those who've never been to the Pegasus Hotel, this is what it looks like. And this is my, fifth hotel in, 7 or 8 days. That's how much I've been moving around. And I love you too, Jamaica. Peace.